Hello everyone. So for those of you who don't know, on my channel I discuss really dark subjects. I don't do it all the time, but I do it a lot because my whole channel is centered around abusive behavior, toxic behavior, things like that, and manipulation tactics, etc. So the purpose of these videos, if anything, is to trauma bond. But if you're not prepared to hear those things, then it can come across as a trauma dump. And since that's the whole purpose of my channel, it can cause adverse reactions in people, and they could want to discredit me in the comments saying that I have ulterior motives for talking about these things and that it's coming from a disingenuous place when it is not. It is my entire channel. So with all that being said, I'm just going to get into today's topic, which is me reading a comment from 3 years ago when I was being harassed from the cyberstalkers. If you don't know about that, you should watch the playlist here. This is the cyberstalker series. I'm making 2 playlists, by the way. One is going to be all the videos in between everything that happened in the cyberstalker series so that you can see all the videos I was making the whole time because you guys know I was exhausted. And then any video that discusses cyberstalking from now on, so that, you know, someone like me would like a playlist like that when going to a channel because I want to hear every little bit of info I can on something that I'm interested in. The other playlist is just the main videos that took place between me and Curtis, or the main videos of me clarifying things that had to do with those videos. So yeah, I recommend that you watch them. If you can get through it, you will experience what many of us have, which is the feeling of the Paraprosdokian. Here's the definition if you don't know. And yeah, so with all that being said, let me read this comment out. So as you guys know, PJ Lee was this big alt account of John Wick's, or this big account that was commenting along with John Wick all the time. So I assume that this is John Wick. And this person says here, can you please not delete my comments? You are doing exactly what you called Mark bad for. For one, I did not do that. What I called Mark bad for was that he was banning his own fans permanently from the platform for re-uploading content that they liked that he made. And he has a lot of young fans who are kids. So for him to do takedowns on their videos instead of just suppressing the video to a specific country where no one can see it and take all the money from the video because he's allowed to do that, and he can silence the video so no one can hear it. And there's other options too. He could do all of that. Instead, he chooses to do a takedown. And once you get 3 takedowns, your channel's gone forever and you can never upload again. So to be a kid and make a mistake like that, and then want to have a YouTube channel when you get older because you're looking up to someone like Markiplier, you want to be just like him. You know, that was a really ruthless thing for him to do. Like, it was honestly horrible. I couldn't believe that he just so confidently did that to people. So that's not the same as me deleting a comment that you can retype and repost. You can obviously retype it because this comment is showing up, so I didn't shadow ban you. So they're already wrong there, but I'm just going to read the rest here because this is the part that's way more important. They said, you can't handle the fact that I have opinions and I actually defended you, but now I'm realizing I should have wasted my time. So what opinion did you have versus you defending me? You didn't say. There's no context. Red flag. It says, you can't handle the fact that I have opinions. That's another red flag. Those are 2 different red flags. Having no context while talking about the opinion and then saying you can't handle any criticism is what they always told me. So I'm getting flashbacks reading this comment when I read it originally. And then red flag number 3 is I'm realizing I should have wasted my time. You mean shouldn't have wasted my time. And they didn't correct it. And that's something that John Wick always did. He would have these terrible sentences and not correct it unless you pointed it out to him because he literally could not tell that he was typing that badly. So it's just a bad faith argument and it's just bad grammar and spelling. And some of these troll accounts like the Abby A66Y account, that was like a cartoony account. This is a cartoony account. So I honestly suspect that this is the troll. This is John Wick. And even if it's not, it's somebody who just blatantly lied. Because I had a completely uncensored comment section for at least 4 years, if not 6 years or something. But it was at least 4 years. So when I saw this comment, I immediately went digging. I went through every single comment section. I expanded every single comment because I was getting accused of deleting comments. So that's when the fear came in. I'm like, that's not true. I have to make sure that that's not the case. I don't even know what they're talking about. Someone alerted me to this comment, by the way. I didn't know that this was a thing because I was being flooded at the time. I was getting so many comments that, I couldn't tell in my notifications when new people were saying things. So I had one person specifically, Kang L, who was constantly telling me whenever they saw the trolls. And so I went through every single comment section I could. I expanded everything. I clicked Control F and I searched their name and I couldn't find their name anywhere in any of my comment sections. I went into the Held for Review tab for comments that are auto shadow banned or considered spam. I didn't see it anywhere. So I'm like, you never left a comment under my video. You never defended me. You're claiming to have left at least 2 comments because you're claiming that you had an opinion that disagreed with me, and you're claiming to have defended me at least once. But I haven't seen a single comment, and I went through everything to find it. So after all of that, I'm like, this has to be John Wick. This has to be you, because you're doing everything that he does. And that's why, you know, and then they responded right after. You can't tell because it says 2 days later, but they responded right after, and you know, it's getting backed up with likes. And it was just about the amount of likes as the trolls commenting underneath. They were the only ones liking it, not strangers. So that's another suspecting thing where you just made this whole false world just now. It says, yeah, she'll do that. She'll delete comments whenever it's convenient for her, when I never deleted a single one. I'm gonna go to the next part. So here they say, classic Kurena, do as I say, not as I do, Fujio, smack my head lol. Don't take it personally. Kurena doesn't like it when people don't toe in line with her contradicting opinions. Again, it's the same bad spelling, capitalizing the word opinion. Ugh. I'm just saying, you can tell that it's similar typing. And then it says, this person, this is the feminist lesbian camp person saying, censoring more than the American government. These are 2 different people. This person is not John Wick. And they were also lying too. So, you know, I'm just getting harassed by all these different people. These different, I had multiple stalkers. And so then I came in after Kang L told me what was going on. Because then he said, we call that the Kurena is a dumb bitch syndrome. This was, you can tell I didn't know about it because this happened days later. It literally says 2 days ago, 1 day ago, 2 minutes ago. So Kang L saw it, told me, and then I said, thanks for linking this to me. I don't know why people are accusing me of deleting comments when I don't, but it's easy to accuse someone of something that has no evidence because they did that all the time. You know how hard it is to defend yourself against something that never happened? It's really hard unless you have an alibi. And if there's no alibi to be had because the type of accusation can't have an alibi, you're almost screwed. But I'll talk about that more in another video as to the only other way to defend yourself against those type of things. It says, YouTube marks some comments as spam, and I have replied to people on my own comment section, refreshed, and the comment is gone. Like, I copy my comments before I hit send because YouTube will just, even now, it's still doing it, and it'll just be gone forever. It says, whether you want to believe that or not is up to you, but no, I did not delete whatever you said. I didn't even know about your comment until now. And I said that because I'm like, this might be a legit person. Like, I'm trying to be objective here. I'm trying, despite all this slander and all this, you know, manipulation and this Darvo behavior, I'm trying to still talk to them just in case they're a normal person, because I really wanted to talk to people and share perspective, and I didn't want to write them off. And I said, to continue this narrative is a false accusation without any evidence, and I will be screenshotting this for further use because I suspected that that was John Wick. And regardless of who it was somebody who was lying. Because after I got the alert, after I screenshotted it, that's when I went to go and look for their comment, and I didn't see it anywhere. So my instinct was right to screenshot it, and it did come in handy 3 years later. But what I want to say is that I've been thinking about this comment throughout the series. Like, ever since I did part 3, I've been fixating on this comment. And I came to this really dark conclusion, this theory that I have, where I ask myself, it's in my head, I wonder just how many people actually didn't believe me. How many people actually thought that I was doing all these awful things, and how many of them were just John Wick on another account? He was so crazy, he had endless alt accounts, so I mean, is it really that far of a stretch to assume he was crazy enough to get on a new account every day and just type things like, Kurena, I really like this video that you did, but then you said all these horrible things to these other people who don't exist. I can't believe it after reading everyone saying this about you. And I was going to subscribe. I can't believe you're this disgusting person. You know, Kurena, I really liked what you said here, but to know that you're doing all these things you never did, I mean, you are a serious sociopath. What kind of person just goes around and does all these things that no one does? I can't believe it. And I was even willing to defend you. Kurena, I mean, everyone's saying that you're doing all these horrible things. How can you talk about these people who don't exist? And how can you just do all these awful things? How can you do that and then claim that you care about something? People like you shouldn't exist on YouTube. You know, stuff like that. Like, just every day. What if it was all just him? Just playing more mind games. And it was like putting me in this like playground or something, like just fucking with my head all day. Like I said, and that's why I was telling you guys in the Let's Do Some Good video where I said I will not let this go. I said they control your whole world, and I'm referencing stuff like this. To make that many alt accounts, because at this point I'm starting to believe that at least 90% of the people who believed that I was doing all those outlandish things, it was just him the whole time, just messing with me. And it bothers me. Like, it makes me angry because I didn't deserve that. I didn't deserve any of that for what I said. You were telling me, I saw that I posted about that John Wick profile, and I am almost positive I have seen that profile before doing exactly the shit you mentioned. He was harassing people in comments and using the same poor bad faith arguments. My memory recall is not great, so I can't remember where exactly I saw it, but the profile picture, name, and the way of typing is burned into my memory for how utterly off the wall their harassment was. And so there's so many things that I wonder, but the main thing that I'm starting to come to terms with is that it was probably just him on a bunch of alternate accounts saying that nobody believed me, that everybody thought that I was this thing that I wasn't, just creating a whole fake world to force me to be trapped in. And that type of stuff just fucks with your head because you don't know what's real. You don't know who to trust. You don't know what to do, because he really wanted me to stop uploading. Like, he just wanted me to stop. He doesn't like people sharing good faith opinions because he knows that his opinions are in bad faith. I've met people like him on video games. I remember there was this one player who was literally just yelling out in the town square of the game saying that I think that there's no such thing as good people or bad people. Anyone can be good or bad at any moment that they choose to be. And, you know, arguments are just arguments. Everything is subjective. Nothing actually matters. Blah, blah, blah. It's kind of like that Joker mentality. As you guys know, I said I like the Joker, and I do as a character. But this mentality that there is no such thing as morality is such a stupid thing to say. And this person who was yelling this out would purposefully be nice sometimes and then be a menace at other times in the game. And the one time I called him out, he lost his mind. We were in the same guild and he lost his fucking mind. And then all his friends in the guild lost their mind. And they started like spamming like, in the chat trying to cover up what I was saying. They lost their mind. It's because they cannot handle constructive arguments. They just want to invalidate everything that you have to say because they don't want to believe that morality is real, because they can't live with themselves if it is. So this is the only way that they can survive. I'm not saying that that's how the Joker thinks specifically. You know, Joker is a fictional character. But these people, that's how they think. They need it to not be real, or else they can't live with themselves. Denial is a very strong thing. It'll fuel people into a very obsessive mindset. I wanted to share this with you guys because if my theory is right, and if it was just John Wick getting on a new account every day, or multiple new accounts saying that no one believed me, that everyone thought all these horrible things about me, believing these lies, if anybody had just spoken up and said, I believe you, these people are insane, and you know, if enough people had spoken up, they wouldn't have been able to get away with it. But it was only one person who was always there for me, which was Kang. Everybody else, people say like one thing here or there, but they would harass them to the point where they wouldn't want to speak again. But if enough people had have kept talking, they wouldn't have been able to get away with it. And this is why I talk about how enabling abuse is the problem. Abusers can only do what you allow. So if someone had spoken up, because I could not just block them, which I explained in this video, I could not just block them. That was not going to solve the issue. It actually would make things worse for myself for multiple reasons. If I had to just block them on site, they had all sorts of tricks that was not going to work. But if enough people had defended me, they wouldn't have been able to get away with it. And oftentimes people who appear to be strong are the ones where everybody thinks they don't need to speak up for that person because they're like, well, you're strong. You're handling it yourself. You're not suffering. We have to suffer in silence because if we show you how it's affecting us, then everybody pounces on us further. We stand alone because we have to protect ourselves, not because we're this person who's unaffected by everything. So I just wanted to make that clear that you have to speak up when you see that something bad is happening. Even if you just private message the person and tell them what's happening to you is not okay. And if you need me to be there for you, I will. I don't know how much you're suffering. Let me know. Reach a hand out to me. Anything, like say something. Don't just let people sit there and suffer in silence because they are suffering. Anybody who cares about anything has feelings, and anybody with feelings can get hurt. I'm not going to stop talking or sharing my opinions. You never broke me. The thing that people don't understand is the more they try to discredit me, the more they try to manipulate me and tear me down, the smarter I get. Because again, my entire channel is about manipulation tactics. So the more you try to use them against me, the more I'm going to find arguments and explanations for how it works and what to do in response. The more you try to discredit me, the more you will discredit yourself. So good luck with that. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to run. People expected for me to run in this whole thing. That is not who I am. A lot of people pegged me wrong throughout this whole thing because they assume that I'm just like everybody else. You never met anybody like me, and soon you'll know that if you stick around. I'm not perfect, but I'm also not a coward. So with all that being said, thank you all for watching. That's all I want to talk about today. Fuck John Wick and all his harassers. They're not going to be able to get away with it this time. Thank you for everybody who is supporting me in this. I need you. I didn't want to admit it, but I need you. Please comment under my videos. It's really helpful. Don't forget to do that. Check out my art channel if you want to support me. I have social media in my description if you want to check out my social media and support me. Tell me what you think on all of this. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.